Welcome to show number 136. That's right. The Jimmy Palumbo Show, getting involved here at Shea from downtown Mawa. Coming to you, of course, with Dave Sturcho from downtown Manawan in the Fine Chop Sports Studios, while I'm in my gorgeous dining room studios here. All fans 18 and under, come on out. We're here, show number 136.
It's a bad open. You're like, fans 18 and under, come on back.
No, you're an ass. I meant like,
saying.
You get your. Well, that's how they. No, fans.
I'm well aware.
Okay. I should have said fans 18 and over, but I meant like, all those when they have those
the giveaways.
Free house breaking wheelie pads, courtesy of Puppy City, Ralph Avenue, and Avenue J. All fans 18 and under, please get here early. All right, if that sounded wrong, that sounded wrong. I'm with you on that. So I'll do it again. All fans here from the downtown dining room studios here in Mawa, all fans 18 and over, come on down here and get a cup of coffee. Anyway, so absolutely nothing going on here at Shea. Well, this is show number 136. And of course, as you well know, I'm here now with Dave Sturcho, who's the co-star of Beer League, the series. We're going to get to that in a minute. And of course, I grab a baseball card. And this one is very unique to me. Joe Niekro. Now, a lot of people don't realize there was the famous Phil Niekro. And he pitched knuckleballer, and Phil Niekro won 325 games. But Joe Niekro won 225 games. I have his 87 card. 22 years in the league. He was 221 and 204, so he lost a lot of games. He pitched 702 games. That's a lot. His ERA was 3.59. He'd be making $27 million a year today. And he pitched over 3,500 innings. That's a lot. He played with the Cubs, Padres, Detroit, Atlanta, Houston, the Yankees with his brother Phil in 85, and Minnesota. His best year was 79. He was 21 and 11 with a 3.08 ERA. So he had like a one stud year. With the Yankees for 3 years, he was 14 and 15 with a 4.5 ERA. That's how I remember him. He'd getting shelled all the time. But I find it funny, in the postseason, 1980, he pitched game 3 of the National League Championship Series, and he went 10 innings, 6 hits, no earned runs. In 81, he pitched 1 game, 8 innings, 7 hits, no runs. Here's the crazy stat about Joe Niekro. In the playoffs, 3 years, 20 innings pitched, no earned runs. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
This is Mariano-esque.
Absolutely. And he was a good hitting pitcher. He batted 275 in 1980. He started 35 games. That's like 275. He's like Giancarlo at this point. He's the younger brother of Phil, of course. His father taught him how to pitch the knuckleball. Phil was pure knuckle. Every pitch was knuckleball. Joe Niekro was a slider, fastball, mixed it in. Towards the end of his career, a little more knuckleball than regular. He was also caught really bad. There's some videos online of him scuffing up the ball. He was famous with the sandpaper, the nail file, all that stuff. He was pitching a no-hitter till 1 out in the 9th, till someone's going to drive off the road on this. Horace Clarke, back in 71 with the Yankees, broke up the no-hitter. Horace Clarke's the poster boy of shitty Yankees. And but the funny thing is, and I just said to you off camera on this, Joe Niekro was a good hitter. He only hit 1 home run off in his career, just 1 ding-dong. And it was off his brother Phil. Now, whether Phil
got that forever now.
I see that, and they're both dead now. He died. Joe Niekro died in 2000.
I guess he doesn't have it forever.
I would love to be able to interview that. Maybe his brother laid it up for him, threw him like a bell tie fastball.
Nice duck. Yeah.
But that was back in the day when the hitters were not programmed to never hit and shit like that. So anyway, so that's my guy, Joe Niekro. Now, I have no idea what I told you to do last week. Either shitty Cowboy tight ends or shitty quarterbacks.
Let's go with shitty quarterbacks for 1,000, Alex. Yeah. I mean, last week we said I had a funny story about Quincy Carter because I met him in the Bahamas, and he knew that he didn't think anybody would notice who he was, but I did, being the psycho Cowboys fan that I am. This week we'll focus in on my dad was gifted a plasma TV. plasma. So it was way first.
Okay.
These things were 450 pounds a piece,
Yeah.
right? They're the
That
first
was the big
plasma
deal.
TVs. Yep. And I remember watching the Cowboys game because we got it set up for a Sunday. And the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys at the time was against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Vinny Testaverde was the Dallas Cowboys quarterback.
I forgot
in
he was on
between,
the Cowboys.
yeah, so that was a rough time as well. We had a bunch of bad years from like 99 to 2000 to like 2003. There was 3 5-11 seasons
So
in a
it's
row.
it's the Aikman to Romo era.
This is the Aikman, the in between Aikman and Romo. I've already listed Quincy Carter. I can go on and on. This might be beating a dead horse, but the Chad Hutchinsons of the world, Anthony Wright,
yeah.
Ryan Leaf, Randall Cunningham, like we had them all on the
Hodgeboom, Hogaboom.
No, Hogaboom was way earlier.
He was before Aikman.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
So and now he's in the he was in the booth. I don't know if he still is, but
really?
Yeah, for like Cowboys radio broadcast or whatever. But
That's
so
funny.
that I'll stick with Vinny Testaverde, Vincenzo.
Vincenzo.
Former Dallas Cowboy quarterback.
He stunk.
Hard.
If you didn't get hurt, the Jets probably would have won the Super Bowl that year. I think they were ready to go. Well, all right, that's it. So Vinny Testaverde and Joe Negro, never again to be heard together on a sports fun talk show.
Probably not.
Well, that brings us to Patreon. Now, I've been so busy with the beer league stuff. We are mired now in a month-long slump since Rich Thomas signed up at number 36. We need a number 37. We don't have it yet. Can't believe we're not at more Patreons. I have to start advertising that to support this fine program. But I did use Patreon money to feed Beer League, the series, this weekend. But I want to give a special shout out to Greg Casalino, who showed up late on Sunday to take pictures. It came out really cool, black and white stuff, really creative. Shout out to Alex Stetsena, who's the number 1 Patreon, the first one to sign up. He was at a bar on Friday night, or was it Thursday night? And he was so excited when I walked into the bar here locally, placing Brady's. And he said, he said something, he probably had a buzz on. He said, "Oh my God, most proudest moment of my life that I'm your number 1 Patreon." I was like, really?
You got a miserable life.
My God. But then he smiled and laughed. He was only teasing. But he talked about how it came across his feed while he was at the bar. You or I must have posted it at 10 o'clock at night or something. And it came up on his phone while he was drinking with somebody. And he's like, I'll do this. Boom. So he was number 1, like 8 seconds after we posted it. So, and listen, Alex Stetsena, you are the Babe Ruth or the Dan Ford. That joke is so funny. I can't. Venditti just drove off the road. And also a shout out to Greg Alperin, one of the producers of Beer League, the series. I love you, man. And I hope there's no further miscommunications. So that's it. Patreon, we need you. Go to patreon.com, patreon.com. Search the Jimmy Palumbo Show. There's 3 different tiers. And please, God bless, go out and support the show. All right. Well, and of course, that brings us to my fine sponsor here from the Omni, Absolute Eyewear. Getting involved here. I'm wearing glasses from Absolute Eyewear as we speak. 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey. 732-326-3937. Craig and Johnny Michaud own this. They're opticians. You got to go there. They got everything, all kinds of stuff. They'll take care of you. When you leave there, you don't feel like a jerk off. That's the best thing. They're nice people. They're awesome. And also, they have Ray-Ban Coach, Ralph Lauren, Dave Sturchio's Jimmy Choo, Silhouette, Michael Kors Light, Vogue, Maui Jim, Costa Del Mar, and you can get autographs from Charles Oakley and Charles Oakley for Kids. Actually, you don't get Charles Oakley's autograph, but his kids will sign something for you with it.
For sure.
Funniest awful joke of the show every week. I think it's funny.
And for some reason, I still giggle. I don't know why. It's just I've heard it
I
a million
I threw
times.
in the Michael Kors Light. But go there. You get $100 off a complete pair. They're great. 732-326-3937. 42 Main Street, Absolute Eyewear, down by the train station. Go there and say that Jimmy Palumbo sent you. All right. Well, let's get to a couple of things. First of all, I'm wearing the Scarlet Knights colors. Rutgers mixed Scarlet Knights 6-2. They're going to a bowl. Now, early on, I always predicted that they had a shot at a bowl because if you look at it, they took care of the games they had. In other words, have they beaten anybody great? No. But their losses are to Wisconsin and Michigan. Not that bad. They played Michigan. They played them both okay. They didn't get blown out, even though the score was one of those like slow deaths, the snake in the cage kind of thing. But I certainly played them better than a lot of other teams have. And we got 4 games to go. We won our 6th game against Indiana. Indiana stinks, but we beat them 31-14. We wore Indiana down, which usually happens to us. And look, 4 games. They're easy opponents. We only got to play Ohio State, Penn State, at Iowa. And then we got Maryland, who's better than us at the end of the season. But you know what? Penn State just got beat. So maybe they'll quit. That happens to them. What I'm looking for, I do believe we're going to get shut out against Ohio State and Penn State.
You don't think you're going to score?
I don't.
Wow.
I don't.
Even your boy, even that legendary Heisman candidate worthy quarterback, Wimsatt.
Listen. Everybody knows on the Facebook pages how I feel about Gavin Wimsatt. He has to play well for us to do well. So I'm all in on him. I just think he'd be great at rugby. He'd be our best running back. But football requires you to pass. And you have to throw the ball at the receiver within range of his arms, legs, anywhere his balls.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
And sometimes he doesn't do that. But listen, Gavin Wimsatt's got him at 6-2. He's only a sophomore. I think he's only 19 or 20 years old. I don't think the sky's the limit for him. I think it's like definitely partly cloudy with a little fog rolling in here. So, but listen, he's got him at 6-2. He's economical. He's a game manager. He knows the playbook. There's
clubhouse guy.
Yeah, clubhouse guy. There's no offsides. He calls timeouts at the right spots. Listen, those are things we didn't have in the last 20 years. So I wish him well. I hope he does well. But
I think weren't we? We were at the bar watching that game, and it was like we were looking at his stat line. He had like 260 yards rushing with like 8 yards passing or some shit. Like it was ridiculous.
Listen, it's 2023. He only threw for 39 yards, and everybody's raving about him. I can't do it. Anyway,
including the cast of characters that were sitting at that table that were there. They graduated 1907.
We will get to that in a few seconds. Also, briefly, we're going to be talking about beer league in a second. Giants, look, that loss last week hurt because Giants beat a bad Washington team. They're now 2-5. To me, it's too little, too late. I don't think the Giants are going to have enough gas in the tank to win 4 out of 5 games. The schedule is a little easier now, but I just don't think the Giants have it. And probably is going to happen. We might end up in that bad draft spot, when you're picking between 21 and 32, which is like the death.
First of all, you got to get, I don't even know. I don't think they beat the Jets this week. I honestly don't.
I don't think so either. But I think the Giants are going to play better. This is the second week in a row they played a complete football game.
Well, yeah, Wink Martindale and the defense, they finally, got up. And look, it's the Redskins, so it's not like, it's one of the world-beating teams.
I just think the Giants are going to be in that. I don't think they're going to have the first or second pick. I think they're going to be in that.
The teens. That's what they'll be.
No, I think they're going to be in that like bad draft pick spot, when you're not 11 through 18 maybe.
You got to get that's what I'm saying. Like right now they're sitting at 2 wins. A lot of people are saying like, oh, maybe they'll get the 6-6 before the bye. I said, where the fuck are you finding?
No, I don't think so. I just think the Giants are going to end up winning. My point is, I don't know how they're going to finish, but I think they're going to finish just enough to not have a killer draft pick is really what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
I don't know what that'll be. We're going to get to the NFL stinks list in a minute. And that brings us to, people have asked Dave, what did he do this weekend? And Dave Sturcio made his acting debut. We're not going to give away plot points, but we shot Beer League all weekend, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, 2 very long killer days. I know, Dave, you must have been shot on Sunday, as was I. I know it's not like, shooting movies isn't exactly, it's not like you're you're not a contractor or anything, but it gets tiring. You're worried about your lines, you're worried about this. It's stressful in its own way. And you know what? Listen, you did a great job. We got you in this part. I think it fits you. It we started out. It was fun. First of all, you got there before me. You were like the eager beaver guy. You were there early, like rookie ball. I was
actually went to the wrong. Oh well, no, that was the house. All right, yeah, I'm like all out of sorts. There was 3 scenes. First one was the house. Yeah, I beat you there, and I was like, look at this lack
he
of
was all excited.
Here. And you're like, yeah, no, check the call time. I was like,
yeah, I was 5 minutes early myself, but
that was about 25 minutes early.
Yeah. But first of all, you look like Wilson. I walked in like Aaron Rodgers, like, all right, where the balls? Let's throw something around now. But it was fun. The kitchen was fun. It was good to see Deej. It was just good. We shot a scene in Tom Baldinger's house. His wife was kind enough to let us have it, but it was embarrassing because when I first got there, I was looking for the wardrobe lady because I had to see what I was going to wear. And the wardrobe lady is also a blonde. And this blonde lady walks in and she looked at me and I was like, hey, I'm Jimmy Palumbo. It was Tom's wife. And then I realized I met her for 8 seconds after the comedy show. And then I've only seen her on Zoom for like 10 seconds. So my bad. She was a doll. She let us use the house, which is awesome. And that was cool. And I thought that it was good to see, Natalie Vero is in it.
She's great.
And Victor Del Rio. I'm not going to tell you what roles they're playing, but it was good to have some of the youngsters in there. They did a great job. They were all the best thing about it for me is, we shot these first 5 and we're at the bar and we only had 7 hours to shoot 17 pages. So we had to fly. This time we had a little more time. I think our scripts have a little more gut to them, a little more you can scratch onto. Mm-hmm. And the main thing was like everybody really wanted to be there. And I put yourself in that bracket. And I'm not saying we hired people that don't know what they're doing. It's just that whenever you're doing something creative, it's always good to have people that really want to be there and they want this to do well. And, I know you're handling the social media end of it. And I was really, how many times did I bring it up? I'm like, guys, talk to Dave. Because last time we didn't quite get from the cast and crew and production, everybody, we didn't really, you got in late on last time and you didn't know who the players were. Now you know everybody. Mm-hmm. And we took tons of pictures and videos. We got all kinds of shit to do previews and everything. We got stuff to utilize now, which is great. And then, of course, I screwed up. I got a hotel room because I knew we'd be working late. But the way we shot this was weird because we had to be at one spot and then we had to drive south to Princeton. And then so I had to drive 50 minutes, 50 back to the hotel room because then in the morning I was only 20 minutes away. So we were done shooting late Saturday night. I had to drive almost an hour to get to my hotel room. I'm like, I didn't do this right. But if I didn't do that, I got one close to that gym location. Then I would have had an hour ride in the morning. So I was like, I don't want to do that.
You didn't drop the pin right.
I didn't do that right. I did not handle that right here at Shea.
Your agent should have definitely took care of that.
And we were down in Hillsborough and West Windsor. I drove through country roads. I was on like 1-lane highways. Mm-hmm. Me and the deer. Even the deer, like by the second night, some of the deer were smoking cigarettes. Like, look at fucking Jimmy going by us right now. And then I was speeding because I wanted to get home to the hotel. And I'm like, I'm going to hit a deer. Johnny Trino killed on a country road while shooting Beer League, the series. That'll be on one of those.
What a way to go.
What a way to go. That'll be one of those like dark stories of showbiz.
Right,
it was an actor. It'd be like, this will be like 30 years from now. Jimmy Palumbo killed while shooting Beer League, the series, a movie which nobody knows about and a series that nobody knows about, except for the chosen few. No, we feel good about this. The gym scenes were a riot. My boy Michael Deej plays Alphonse, as you guys know, my fans. We were in the gym there, and I don't want to give away too much, but you had to get Dave Sturcio getting involved here, and the both of us had to do some exercises that
that's on some of the behind the scenes stuff. So people are at least aware of like what's going on, but like, boy, oh boy, if you're not like warmed up or ready to go and they're just like, hey, do this. And I'm just like, oh yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, like
It-
what the fuck am I doing right
and
now?
of course, Deej trains there 7
Right.
days a week. Deej was
He
Deej
walked
is
me through the whole program, the Orange Theory
it's
fitness thing. I'm
crazy.
like, wow. I'm like, and I knew a couple friends that actually do that stuff. And I'm like, I never actually, gave it any thought. But once Deej like broke it down and like said, like, these are the circuits, this is what you got to do, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, there's no
Well,
freaking way I would do this.
they
Like,
say, they're a gym, but as he explained it to me, because it's about like $170 a month to join. That's a lot. Usually gyms are $50, $60 a month in that arena.
you
But
pay by the session.
no, but he doesn't go by that. His price is you get the sessions, and
Right.
it's more. You got to compare it to personal training,
Mm.
not going to a gym.
That's what it is, man. He's on the mic,
Oh,
the
it's
headset, like drill sergeant type
and they
shit.
go in. You're all wired up with your heart rate, your heartbeat, and it's all about this. There's a theory about your blood pressure and heart rate when it hits a certain point. That's when
What about
I don't know.
what about you getting on that BMI scale thing?
Oh my! First of all,
I refused. You went on out of the kindness of your own heart to try it out, and then you got your results, and I'm like, oh my God, come on.
Orange Theory Fitness has something at the front of the store when you sign up. It's this BMI, fat, weight. It's this whole thing. Deej told me it costs like $7,000 for this thing. I had to take off my shoes and socks. I had to wipe the bottom of my feet with this wipe. I get on this thing, and basically it told me I'm a jelly donut. Really, that's what at the end of the day. I have 33% body fat. I was like, and then Deej was telling me that my left arm is weaker than my right arm, and and then it shows like your gut area, like my gut area basically looks like an In-N-Out burger. It was just so embarrassing, but I was having fun with it. I was like, my God. And Deej was mocking me out for being out of shape. That became a running gag. And the good thing was I can't tell you what I did in the scenes, but we had some fun. The hardest thing was you had to do a scene, which I think is funny, but it was definitely awkward, not only for the actress, extremely awkward for you. And I actually felt about it. I didn't realize when I wrote it, I figured, Dave will be able to do this. But you know what? Listen, I'm not giving out details, but it is all, you just met the actress. She don't know you.
And the best part is she's a pro, right? This is my first go at anything.
Right.
And, I get the, action and I'm doing it. And I'm like, cut. All right, let's do it again. Dave, I need you to do a little bit more. And I'm like,
I know.
Okay, right? But the girl, God bless Gabby, she's great, man. And she was like, no, let's do this. And I was just like,
I should have.
Like,
listen,
let's go.
Every time, this is my second time producing the first go around, and now this, I should have pulled her aside and said, hey, listen, my buddy Dave's all in, and he did wrestling stuff. So he's a ham. His ego's bigger than anyone's here. He'll go for it. But I should have told her that, like, Dave's a rookie. So like, if you need, I should have done that, because then she would have probably. But then I'm thinking, well, I don't want to give the scene away, but I'm thinking, well, the Dave might have went way too far here. There might have been
I know.
There might have been
and then at the end, they're like, cut, great. And I was like, man, I feel dirty. Like, this is terrible.
I was worried that there was going to be one of those Pat Riley and the Knicks want to talk it over.
Right.
But the scene was awkwardly funny. I hope when we see the footage. But it was great. I got to see Deej's wife, Janine, was there, and my friend Joy was there. She helped me out with some lawyer things.
She's great. She
was
awesome.
cool. We had some extras that showed up. Really just fans, from Facebook. We didn't get the overwhelming response. I don't know. There might have been some communication issues.
Not for nothing, but I don't know if there's I think there was the perfect amount of extras for night one, because it was just our day one.
Yeah, it would have been too much.
Yeah, you can't have too many in there.
And I think it
worked
was
out nice.
You got to remember, I think if it had been up by North Jersey, we would have had more. I think, you know what I mean? It was down kind of by Princeton, a little bit of a ride for people.
We had some people. That's not true, because you definitely had some pot-bellied pigs come on down to the softball field. That's awesome.
Yes, yeah, for sure. We're gonna. So we heard from the guy's kitchen, and we drove to the gym. But the best part was for me and this is classic Jimmy Palumbo. If anybody wants to call me a loser for this, it's so true. And Dave was there to witness it. we're in the kitchen right now. Rutgers is playing for a bowl bid, okay, while we're shooting. So I walk in. In the other room, I see this big television, one of those old school, the ones that bend around, right?
Little curvy,
right? So I was like, Tom, I go to the director, Tom, where's your remote? He's like, I don't know. It should be in there, but there was all equipment. So Dave and I literally for like 10 minutes, were like, it's like, Dave, we got to find this remote. I don't care. I was like moving cameras out of the way. So we find the remote. And next thing you know how some stations have like the HD, the blurry one. Well,
you're such a yuppie on this, bro.
I got the blurry one, right?
Yeah,
but we can see it.
Big 10 network, and then they put it on, and they're like, we're watching. It's like, this was 520.
But I also didn't want to be like, maybe he's just got a shitty TV and it's
right. Hey, Tom, can you spring for the HD package next time around? We're trying to shoot some movies here, and we're trying to watch the Rutgers game.
Put it this way. It's a kind of television that would never be in Dave Sturgill or Jimmy Palumbo's house.
Not even in my studio.
Matter of fact, if you watch it, Quincy Carter looks like he's quarterbacking. So. But the funny thing was, I had the volume off, and there's always breaks in between. So rather than go to the right, to the dining room, I just went to the left in like the rec room, and there was the Rutgers game. But like, meanwhile, I start cursing out loud. He stinks, they stink, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, Dave was smiling, going like, I think
it was hilarious because, like, you're sitting there in your position for the scene. You guys are about to go, like, say action. And I'm just like, first and goal from the 2, like from the other room.
Well, it was because I was in.
And you're like, they score? Huh? You're like,
so I was in the kitchen, and Dave was in the rec room right off the kitchen. So I knew he was like, I wanted him there. Like, matter of fact, if I had a personal assistant, I would have been, listen, your job is to stay in the living room and somehow get me scores. And you were like, first at the.
Like, Wimsat rolls out, and you're like, action. I'm like, oh shit.
So we did the scene, which was funny. And then we had, by a miracle, we had a 2-hour break because we had to switch locations.
I feel like it was longer than that.
Maybe 2.5-hour break.
Yeah.
They call it a company move. So I realized we were like, all of us were like, well, they were going to some pizzeria. And I was like, Dave, Penn State's playing Ohio State and Rutgers is playing Indiana. We're going to a bar. So we go to a bar. Of course, I ordered a beer like I was on vacation.
I know. I got to the bar and like, what would you like to drink? I was like, I'm looking around, I'm like, Diet Coke, you know? But even Deej was like, oh, we can get comfy here. Like, this might be bad. And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm looking around. By the way, Pet Rocks or Petrix. Sorry.
The name of the bar was, Tom said, go to Pet Rocks. And me and Dave were like, you know when you hear something, you're like, okay, and he gave us, but I'm like, he's like, well, it's how do you say it?
Petrix. Yeah, that's the name. That's the last name of the bar owner.
Yeah, Petruchs. They all call it Pet Rocks, and to me, Pet Rock is the Pet Rock thing, you know. So we walk in there. There was one table in the back of all Rutgers fans. Nobody was under the age of 70.
Yeah, they all graduated in 1923.
And I start yelling at the screen right away. But the lady had to like find the Rutgers game. The lady
best part is like, this TV's got Penn State. This one's got Rutgers. This one's broken.
I felt like it was 1974. One of the TVs had an episode of Barnaby Jones on. So I was like, this is just
really
awful.
did. I think the first channel they put on had like Little House on the Prairie or some shit. I was like, oh my God.
I was like, oh my God. Nothing better on a Saturday afternoon while you're shooting a TV show to go watch Mannix at a bar.
And just to give you all the listeners out there a little preview of what it's like to watch a Rutgers game during with Jimmy. Now remember, 2 patrons at the bar. There's us. There comes some of the cast. Natalie and Deej was there. We're all watching the game, and you have that table off to the side full of just older. Just they're rooting. You can hear a couple like, yeah, good play, good play. Wimsat breaks one. Jimmy belts out, "Run, you fat fuck!" as loud as he possibly can. I'm like, Jesus Christ! I'm like, oh my God, run, you fat fuck! I'm like, holy shit, he's going as fast as he can. Oh my God.
I totally got excited there.
Yeah, he did.
So then we arrive at the gym and
before you leave, before we left, Jimmy had to go into that room, introduce himself, basically like, hey guys, we're going bowling. We're going bowling. And they're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, they looked at me like is that the guy who called our quarterback a fat fuck? But they were like, go RU. It's so funny how old our fan base is. It looked like, really, yeah, we used to play Colgate and Fordham. Now we're going to a bowl. But then, so we did the gym stuff, which was cool. And then, of course, we shot in Alaska on Sunday. I don't know if anybody was outside. Okay, first of all, if you had we were in an area where there was absolutely we were on the pine.
We were in the old Giant Stadium where the winds were swirling the entire time.
It was this flat field, no trees within 300 yards. The wind was howling. I got out of the car. I looked at these. I was like, I don't feel like doing this. It was ice cold. Then we ended up having.
Everybody's got winter jackets on and shit.
And I have
I'm out there with no sleeves.
Yeah, I have a jacket from the Giants that Venditti gave me. It's actually property of the Giants. I was wearing that. I've had that for 20 years. And then we had some extras show up. My buddy Tim Perkins showed up from Ramsey all the way down. I give him credit. He wanted to be in the softball scenes. We had a couple of guys. Somebody, one of the extras was, I don't want to go into detail. Was
I'm not.
No.
I don't. I'm 2 days old on being a actor, in this world, and even I was getting pissed off.
Okay, there was we had two extras of note. One of them was annoying. The other one, though, we can't even. It's so exciting what happened with the other extra that we're actually. I'm actually trying to preview this without giving anything away. All I know is by far top 10 extra of all time, and Dave Sergio is in the process of putting together some social media. You will see it, and you will know. Unbelievable. I mean, that was the story of the day.
It was wild.
Literally, I went from number 1 on the call sheet to number 9, and he was number 1. This extra, I'll explain when you'll see it on Instagram when it happens. But we had one extra who was trying to. I think he meant well. He just was getting in the way, and you got to learn when you're a background actor. Excuse me, and I can't say extra anymore.
What? Is that a thing?
Yeah, you're supposed to say background actor. So,
Jesus Christ.
When you're a background actor, you're a critical part of the day. You really are. You got to have people in the background, and it's got to work. And I don't know how much talent they have, but they have to. I didn't even look at the chats here. Am I getting any chats going?
Yeah, no, a couple people are chiming in.
Okay.
Kyle's in there talking about Maganelli and Sam.
Big shout to. That's right. Big shout to Emily Fontaine, my friend I used to work with at a bar.
She loves the hat, so I love you.
She's a Cowboy fan. She's a doll. When are we going out to dinner? Jimmy is trying to flirt here live on his podcast. Hey, Max, Emily, let me know when I'm allowed to go back into the bar. More on that later.
Oh, boy.
I got banned from that place.
Where does she work?
I don't want to say it.
All right. I was going to say, I'll go. She likes my hat.
So Kyle's chiming in. He's taking Maganelli's team 1.5 on the right. That's great. We're doing too much talent, poor coaching, base running. All right, you'll see, Kyle. We never got a response from Kyle regarding the air disaster thing from last week.
I don't know if you saw that part, but that's a very good clip.
We have to show him that one. Anyway, so now Emily Fontaine is you know what? That's it. Instead of a dating site, I'm going to have a new thing. This is going to be, are you tired of using dating sites? Create your own podcast. And when they come in on the chat, you too can talk to a girl on the chat. Anyway, Emily, I love you. I hope you're still at the bar over there. And let me know, you know what I'm saying, when I'm legally allowed to come in that place. I had issues with the owner. That's what happened. So we parted ways. I'll leave it that way at Shea. But it's always good to flirt while you're doing a podcast. Then listen, it was so cold, and I'm still nervous about the audio. The wind. My buddy took video, and it sounds like we're in Ukraine with the wind howling through the speaker. But I'm told the audio guy captured it. The wind is not an issue. I'm told that, so hopefully that'll be great. I think we had some funny. Now you had your scene there, but you had to leave.
Yeah, I was a double.
I had to record my lines to someone else.
That was the makeup Jill,
yeah,
right?
Jill.
Yeah,
and
I heard her reciting my lines, and I was like, "That's not bad."
Okay, but I did some different takes on it, which I made Anthony DeSando, Maganelli, bust out laughing. I did 3 different takes. I don't want to give away the punchline, but
he was laughing when I was doing when we were doing the Zoom read.
Yeah, Maganelli was just great. First of all, anytime Maganelli's there, and Anthony DeSando, it's just great. But we did some good stuff. Our Natalie Vero, I don't even want to reveal what she does in it, but she had to actually play some ball.
She's a firecracker.
And when we casted this, one of the things, because I thought the players in Beer League, the movie, sucked. The background, like, everybody lied. Yeah, I can play softball. And for this part, we had to have certain characters had to play softball. Just, there was no getting around it. We couldn't have a shitty actress or actor lying on their resume at Shea. And she, you know what? I was like, whew, thank God she was bringing it. She was great. She was fantastic.
Megan Ellie actually, he gave me a little critique on my swing. He's like, you're all upper body. You're not really. I was like, yeah. He's like, you're not even twisting your hips. It's all. How are you putting them out there without? And I'm like, I'm all upper body. What do you want me to say?
Unfortunately, we don't have the budget for CGI because we had to make. For Dave, we had to make him look much better than he was.
Yeah. I was hitting bombs. What are you kidding me? There's a couple of them that hit like off the plate. I swear to God, me and Natalie were just kind of hanging out, and she just lofted one out, and I first pitch swung and missed. I was like, that's gonna be a long fucking day.
Look, first of all, it was 8 degrees, windy. Yeah. By the way, you were hitting bombs short of a home run, but I just want to let everybody know it was 205.
Warning. We call that warning track power.
Warning track power. That would have been a lazy fly at Warren Park.
I said to myself, man, one of the ones, I was like, oh, that's getting out. And then it just dropped.
It just laid it right in. But it was fun to have. It was just a fun shoot to do.
I got to give it up to the entire crew. Those guys are great, man.
Our tent blew down.
Yeah, it was just the crew of 624. Everybody that Tom put together between the behind the scenes guys and the cameramen and lighting, everything that those guys do. Even the sound guy, Jaime. Dude. Those guys are all great. And like I said, I can't compare it to anything because I never. Those guys were.
I tried to. Actually, when me and Dave were at the gym, I was trying to explain what I think is the difference between, let's say, a Law and Order and this shoot and a movie shoot. And I was saying, Dave, these people are all professionals. They do this a lot. I was like, the difference is there's just more of them. In other words, instead of having 2 camera guys, there's 8, 9 people working with the cameras. There's someone who just stands by the lenses and knows how to make sure they're ready to go. There's audio people running around. There's assistants. It's more infrastructure, and it does make it go smoother and faster when you have that. But when your budget is 60 cents, you don't have the budget for that. I wish we did.
It's just
it's really cool to watch.
Man. It is. Yeah. It's cool. It's fascinating to watch. It's fascinating to know what goes into just we're this is the scene, right? And then you shoot the scene one way. Then you got to do it all over again from a different angle. Then you got to do it all over again from a different angle. So now you got 3 different angles, and I'm just like, well, now I know why this shit takes so long. You know what I mean?
It's also,
and not only that, there's not a lot of if you guys improv, and that's a question I was going to ask you and Tom, but there was multiple times where if there was another shot or another angle of something that you shot, if you don't get the exact same verbiage as a shot before, does that screw anything up?
Well, yes and no. It depends on when you can cut away to your face, my face. You can cut away. You have to be careful with improv. I think I'm good at the improv stuff. I'm also what I believe I'm best at it for me is waiting till if you want to add a line
at the end.
You got to wait that split second so they can cut it. And some people don't do that. And of course, I screwed it up a bunch of times as well. But the editing process is a joke. It's fascinating because certain takes are blurry. The audio's no good. The camera angle's no good. And then certain takes, the acting sucks. The guy screwed up his lines. If we had more time, this was a regular shoot, your scenes, that would have been a whole day.
Really?
A whole day. Yeah.
Wow.
I wish we could give away. We'll have to do that when we release it. But yeah, it is a tedious process. And the days were long. What did we work? We did Saturday was
8 a.m. to 11 p.m., dude.
Yeah, that was a long ass day.
15 hours of just.
And we did
going.
On Sunday. We were
there.
We only did 8 to 5, something like that, 8 to 5:30 or something. That's still a long day.
Yeah.
And the crew was shot because the night before was tough, and not shot, but they were tired. It's time to go home, but we got all the shots in. I kept on saying, Tom, when we get everything, and we were able to add a few shots due to an amazing background actor that showed up. We were able to add a few things which were funny, and I think we did some of the. I think listen, I feel like I'm talking about one of my kids now, but
Right.
I really what it is when you think something is funny. Like I said, that's funny, but you don't know what the regular. I mean, look, I got to tell everybody this. I think these are going to be better.
Oh, 100%.
And we may release it as one long one instead of episodes. We're not sure yet. Depends on the editing, how we can fit. And we might even take some of the first 5, shove that in, do like that, which would be cool. We don't know yet. It's all the creative process and editing and all that stuff. But you think it's funny, but I'm aware of a couple of things, and I know I'm going to get this on Facebook and Instagram. Where's Artie? Where's Artie? Where's Artie? Where's Artie? And listen, Artie loves me. I love Artie. Artie knows what we're doing. He's just not involved right now. I think he will be someday if we go further. And Artie's not there, but Manganelli, Trino, and the other people that we got are around. And we think there's just a little bit more to say from these guys about a bunch of fat bastards playing softball, and that once a week. Now, whether right now, maybe it's pickleball for you. Maybe it's you're in a dart club. Maybe you bowl once a week. Maybe I don't know, whatever it is you do once a week. I don't know. You go to the Giant games, go to the Jet games, whatever it is. You go to the sports bar to watch your Cowboy games if you're a piece of shit from Jersey, and that's what you do, watching the Cowboys.
By the way, Manganelli showed me a picture of him as a kid, and he was standing with Tony Dorsett. So that is a legitimate, authentic. Me and him are real Cowboys fans.
Okay, which by the way, Tony Dorsett, I think is top 3 of best Cowboys of all time.
Of course.
So I'm a huge Tony Dorsett fan. Even though I hate the Cowboys, I love Tony. I thought he was so awesome. And I think no one talks about him as running back, but it was just, I think we got something there. And I can't wait to show you. We got some social media posts that are going to be coming out in the next 2 or 3 months, or 2 or 3 days, really. We're gonna have Dave's got to break his ass. But I think there's some funny shit. I really do, and I hope everybody likes it. And if you don't, well, really, the main thing is I hope Emily Fontaine likes it. That's critical right there. If Emily likes it and I'm allowed back into the bar where she bartends, then listen, life is good.
If Emily would like to list on the comments where she works, just so I'm aware, if we don't have to say it, I'm curious.
But anyway, like I said, good, clean fun. I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything else that happened on the set that
it was just like I said, it was just a really fun experience. No bullshit, no drama, just everybody having a good time. Right. And like Tom is a fucking whiz, like of his directing and his producing. He's just incredible. And like I said, I can't say enough about the people that you casted. So good job in that regard, because I think everybody played a really, really good role.
Yeah.
And
everybody
again,
was
I
open.
Can't thank you guys enough for everything that you got me involved in, man.
It's great.
I felt like a rock star, man. It was awesome.
No, it was great. It was great. It was weird for me, to be honest with you. And this, if anybody thinks I'm sounding cocky, I'm not. I mean, me and Tom are producing this with Greg Alperin. But really, technically, I was the top of the food chain on this set. Like
they had to go to you.
Like somebody was coming up to me, and I let Tom do his directing and producing though, because I don't know shit about that. I know, but I didn't do it last time. But this time, like when you were doing your scene, I watched and I was like, no, I have to tell Dave, because I knew it was in your wheelhouse. So I didn't give you anything that you couldn't do.
Right.
And I made the mistake of just kind of shouting over Tom. And but I was like, no, I got to tell Dave, this is how I want. He'll get this.
And you know what? Go ahead. Sorry.
And I think you adjusted to that. I think I have a way of wording things. Maybe I take a little too long to word it, but I word it where like you knew what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether or not, who knows? We got to look at the footage. I think you pulled it off. So I was more involved in the like acting part of it, a couple times I had to whisper. Like you, I knew I could just tell you. But the other actors, I was a little bit like, I would pull them aside, say, hey, Tom, they should do it this way. And then we did it both different ways because you don't know what's going to be funnier. And I thought that was really cool. It was really weird to be like QB1. I mean, I was Aaron Rodgers for 2 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think some of the coolest things that again, I'm creative in my own right because I do the content here, and then I have my background of being in pro wrestling and in front of a camera.
You get it.
And I think the coolest part about it was like you in particular took me serious to the point where if I dropped you a line, like I think this would be funny, and you put it in the script, and I was like, oh shit,
you
they used my line. That's so cool.
There's a lot. Again, I know it sucks if you're listening. We can't give you the lines because I think that'll take away. But Dave, you did come up with a great one. It was a slight change in the read that my line, adding a little bit to it. That's the best way to describe it. That I was like, oh yeah, it's exactly how I should do it, and that was cool. Yeah, everybody, even Manganelli, DeSando was adding stuff. I, of course, was adding. I mean, I gave the kitchen sink my scenes, but DJ, everybody added. I think everybody added a little love to it. And in the editing room, I think we're going to have more choices because we definitely read it as the script. We got a few of those takes in, but we added some things on the fly, which I think really is what it's all about.
Everything kind of played off really well. I think there was nothing ever where I was like listening in and I'm just like, it doesn't go there. You know what I mean? Like everything that was added seemed like it fit.
We obviously it's beer league, so we curse a lot.
But you dialed that back.
No,
too.
we did. I looked at the script and I was like, damn, we got too many F-bombs that don't make sense. But there were some F-bombs that needed to be there.
Right.
So matter of fact, I made a joke. I was like, Tom, we got to get rid of some fucks and add some assholes. That kind of thing. So but I personally took out, I think I took out like 8 F word. Because it was like, because when you write the script, you're trying to show the attitude, but the attitude doesn't need the curse word. The acting shows that you're annoyed,
Right.
So we added, what the hells instead of what the F's, and we did a little bit of that. But I think nobody added. I was afraid that when you're doing a scene and I start cursing and you start cursing and then Natalie start cursing and then it's like fuck. It doesn't work. Right. So I thought we did a good job of that. It's just a matter of now Tom's got all
got his hands full.
I went from Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy's limping off here, and now Tom Baldinger he's got to get this done working with the editor. I'm going to be a little bit more involved in the editing. I think it's important because if I'm going to shit the bed, I want to make sure I'm the one wearing the diapers. So I'm going to be involved in that a little bit more, but it's hard. And somebody's got to direct it, get rid of all the bad cuts that, like I said. So listen, it was a good time, good, clean fun. And we're hoping, I really want to, let's see, it's already in October. I think it's going to take 2 months to edit. I do.
I'm so impatient.
And yeah, I know.
I want it tomorrow, actually.
Right. And then you got Christmas. I think we're going to be like mid-January. We were going to wait till pitches and catches maybe, but I don't think it's necessary. I think January or early February is good because
maybe right after the Super Bowl or something.
After the Super Bowl, also people are home. It's dark out. It's winter time in the Northeast anyway. And so I think it's going to be cool. So I'll let you guys. Listen. You're going to be inundated with beer league stuff from here on in, which is cool. So that's it. So of course, Mike Caprio, who wasn't there, is the owner of CornholeLevel.com. That's right. I want to let everybody know. Listen, Dave. It was so cold that your cornhole needed an adjustment.
Absolutely.
And here it is right here. You buy this little thing. Here's the Rutgers one. You click it on your hole just like that. No, this doesn't vibrate. I wish it did for your pleasure. But you hook it on the cornhole board, and it keeps it at the exact balance of where this thing has to be. You got to put a couple shims underneath to get your cornhole board where it's got to be. CornholeLevel.com. 20% off if you say JP Show. They're only $19.95. Go check up there. They're selling like hotcakes. Stocking stuffer day here at Shea. He'll ship them out to you right away. He's getting more and more logos as we speak. He's got different colors. CornholeLevel.com. And of course, CornholeLevel.com sponsors the greatest part of my show, the NFL Stinks List. Now, Wow, what a year. This is a banner year for Stinks List. This is like, I think like 20 years from now, they're going to be like, remember the golden era of Stinks List? There's just so many of them. But we'll just start. All right. Miami Dolphins, you are just good now. So sorry. Buffalo Bills stink. I told you the Bills stink. I called it early. They lost to the Jets.
They're reeling right now.
Should have lost to the Giants. They got smoked in Europe. They stink. The Jets, I'm going to leave it good. They didn't play. The Patriots, even though they won, they still stink. That could change, though. You never know. Maybe Belichick will go on a run. I got the Baltimore Ravens entering the very good state. I think the Ravens are good all of a
Boys
sudden.
can score points,
Yes,
man.
they can. So I got the Steelers at average now. I had them at stinks, and I realized, I'm like, you know what? The Steelers, it's hard to put the Steelers in the stinks list because
they haven't had a losing season since Tomlin's been there. So.
Right, and they, the Steelers just, you can make the statement the Steelers never stink, and it's accurate. They're just one of, in all sports, they're just one of those teams. I got upgraded the Cleveland Browns to good. Could be short-lived. Now, this is where the stinks list is going to rotate a little bit. Some teams are going south, some are going north. And I got to keep the Bengals at average. I think the Bengals could turn it around as well. We'll see. Now, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Look, man, 5-2 is 5-2. I got them at good. I upgraded them a little bit there. I don't know where they're going to go from here. We don't know. And
Trevor's playing like shit.
I'm sorry, though. Texans, Colts, Titans, you guys stink. Kansas City Chiefs. I hate like hell to do this because of Taylor Swift.
They put up a stat the other day of like Kelsey with Swift and without. And it's like, come on, man. You're beating this dead horse. And it's just like, it's making me.
So he buys a new house, and it's like he's buying it for her. I feel like saying, hey, Kelsey, you're like, in terms of wealth, you are like Jimmy Palumbo compared to Taylor Swift. Like you're buying it, you're building a $20 million house. Swift can own about 30 of those if she wanted to.
My buddy Mikey actually just sent me a graphic. I don't know if you can see that, but it says Travis is greater than Taylor. That's his new shirt that he's selling. It's like so great. Basic, but so good at the same time.
Great. I love shirts like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So I got them at very good. Look, they're 6-1, but I got the Raiders, Chargers, Broncos. They all stink. So that's it for the AFC.
Broncos. They took out Chris's Packers, man. I was just like,
well,
I didn't see any football Sunday. Obviously,
I had to watch. I was reading, going online. Listen, it was a rough weekend for us to watch football.
Right.
And conveniently, you shot this on the weekend. The Cowboys didn't play. Otherwise, you would have been unavailable on Sunday.
I was unavailable for other reasons.
Yeah, bullshit. No, I know you were. We're going to get to that in a second. Philadelphia Eagles, 6-1, very good. I got the Cowboys at average. They didn't play. Commanders and Giants, I got them at stinks. Listen, I'm happy the Giants won, I guess. I taped the game. I watched a little bit of it. I just think the Giants, who knows, they stink. And Washington stinks. So that's the way it is. That's fair. Detroit Lions, you know what? I put you at the very good. They couldn't hold it. They're back down to good. Minnesota Vikings, I have to upgrade them to average. They've been on the stinks list, but they beat the 49ers, who are now average, in my opinion. But I'll get to that in a second. Packers and Bears, I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, Chris. Your Packers, they stink. They look like the team that doesn't have their Hall of Fame quarterback anymore.
But according to sources, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, they would have. A lot of people are like, the Packers.
It's tough sledding. I hate to see Chris like this. I do.
I know. Listen, a little bit, but listen, you've been this way since 1996, so exactly. I don't want to hear. Yeah, absolutely. And listen, I'm a Giant and Rutgers fan, so and Knicks and Rangers. Nobody has anything on me as far as watching horrific sporting events. Anyway, yeah, Packers and Bears stink. Atlanta Falcons, average. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, average. Saints and Carolina stink. They get the free home version of how to be a Darryl Clark. Saints are very good. No, they stink, bro.
According to who?
Darryl Clark, my boy down in Louisiana. San Francisco 49ers. I said it when the Giants played them. The Giants stink, right? But I watched that 49er game, and I'm like, This game is close. Like this is not. They didn't pull away till way later in the game. So you are now average, as far as I'm concerned, even at 5-2.
I will point out about the 49ers. Since they beat up on Dallas and Kittle decided to show the world that he was wearing a shirt that said "fuck Dallas" underneath his jersey,
haven't won again.
They're 0-2 since.
There you
So
go.
karma is a bitch.
Yeah. So you're same thing with the Sanders kid. Shut your mouth. Why? Everyone's got to be like Derek Jeter. Shut up. Don't say anything to anybody. Be boring on social media, and you win 5 championships. Or 6. How many did Jeter win? 5, 6? I don't even remember. Anyway. Then, of course, the Seahawks, Rams, and Cardinals. I got the Seahawks as I got the Seahawks as stinking, but they're 4-2. That might be a cheap shot on Seattle.
That's a little below the belt.
That's below the belt, but we'll see. I'm actually challenging them. See, I know Pete Carroll listens to the show, and he's going to say, "Wow, Jimmy Palumbo." I'm trying to get because my brother-in-law Steve loves the Seahawks. So I'm trying to let Pete Carroll know, hey, man, I still think you stink. So you got to bring it the next couple of weeks. The Rams and the Cardinals. I mean, my God, that's such a bad loss from the Cowboys, man. They stink. So that's it. 17 stinks, 7 averages, 5 goods, and 3 very goods. And listen, the stinks list is really starting to get some national attention, and that's how it works. All right, a couple of shout outs. Want to give a shout out to my cousin Linda, who lost her husband, Tony, last week. Linda, we love you, thinking about you and your kids and all that. Sucks. College football, Ohio State beat Penn State. I watched a little bit of the game at the bar. Looks like Penn State played lousy. And Ohio State looks like they're better than they think. I can't wait for the Colorado-UCLA game because Colorado's my new Dallas Cowboys. I can't stand them. And I made a prediction that the Scarlet McKnights will have a better record than Colorado. Now, we play, very good teams coming up, but so does Colorado. Right now, we're 6-2. They're 4-3. 2-game lead, but that can end very quickly.
2 in the win column.
Yeah. So, yeah, right. So, I just love watching them lose. I'm tired of the videos. I mean, this guy, people are like, "Oh my God, can you see how about the comment he said, we got a week off. If you're late, if you show up late for practice, clean out your locker, you're no longer here." And it's like saying, you know what? Okay, you're trying to get your team to show up on time. I get you should show up on time. But clean out your locker? Really? It sounds preachy. It's like, God, dude, shut up. Why don't you learn how to coach a game? Anyway, that's about it. Also, my daughter went to go see the Taylor Swift movie, and I was so glad I was not on that detail because I would have been in the back. I definitely would have got a large Coke with a Johnny Walker Black Small 5th. I would have been pouring that in. And Natalie's friends would have been like, "Hey, Natalie, your dad seems ripped, or is he really enjoying the show?" I would have think it was like Lawrence Taylor being Swift. Watching the game, drinking like that. But I heard there's fights in the aisles. You hear about this? Because people are acting like it's a concert. So they're jumping around, dancing and singing, taking videos of the screen like they're at a show. And there's some couple there sitting in the back. We're like, "Sit down in front." I'm like, you got a bunch of 14 to 30-year-olds jumping up and down for this girl. You can't be, it's not like you're going to see a Woody Allen movie over there. So you relax and let everybody have fun. Which brings us to Chasing Miracles. Now, my mother's knee here at Shea, chasingmiracles.com. You got to get these X39s and X49 patches. My mother's knee feels better. I've been wearing them. No issue with my heel. It's just unbelievable. This stuff works. It's all the shit your body needs. Go to chasingmiracles.com. You get more stamina, energy, muscle strengthening, also recovery. There's no needles. There's no, you can still pee in a cup. It's nothing gets injected to your body. This stuff is awesome. Go talk to Tommy and Donna, Chasing Miracles, reach out to them. It's all there on the website. And I think if you're in pain, you got something going on, that's what you got to do. So chasingmiracles.com, one of my favorite. Now, we have to mention this.
And visit that website.
And we have to mention this only because it's the end of the show. We're going to be off in a few seconds. There's a team that starts their season on Wednesday night. And the Knicks want to talk it over. I've been reading the articles the last couple of days. They do the preseason articles. It's like I think everybody's being way too positive. Am I wrong? It's like they got the same team.
No, they added some pieces, but like you just got to hope that these guys are like one more year better, meaning like Randall has a better bounce back year and like Barrett just comes into his own, and like these guys are all still relatively young, not so much Randall, but like Barrett, and obviously added a couple paisans from Villanova, right?
By the way, are there any, I feel bad for it. What about the players from Villanova from that era that didn't make the Knicks?
Right. He's he's the odd man out.
Like if you live in Philadelphia and you're a Villanova fan and you played on those teams, like if I was at the bar, I'm like, dude, come on.
Heavy rumors about the Knicks trying to package something big for Joel Embiid. So it's like I don't know if that's ever like going to come to fruition or whatever, but James Harden is also MIA. Nobody knows where he is.
Right. It's
incredible, by the way.
He's the worst.
It's official. Like if you're a fan of James Harden, look yourself in the mirror and choose better.
You know what?
Things.
I don't think anyone's a fan of James Harden.
You can't be.
His teams never win.
What's he gonna say? What
does he have a ring? Like, you don't have a ring, does he?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, that's another. It's like the guy on the Nets, Ben.
No, you know who that? You know who it is? The guy on the Nets, the end of the bench, Jay New.
No, it's crazy. I guess the Knicks. Listen, I'm a huge Knicks fan, but again, our running gag since I met you, the Knicks have been good for 5 weeks. That's
I can't wait till they start off like 5-1, and I'm just like, okay,
here we go. And then all of a sudden, like, Dave, the Knicks haven't won in 3 weeks. Like, no, the Knicks in the last 3 years have really only been good for 5 weeks. Like, it's like some of these other teams are good year in, year out, and we have a little it's always like a run like early or it's late right before the playoffs that we lose. It's just I know I just want the Knicks to be better because I enjoy the Knicks. I do.
Yeah, there's always a good energy in New York when the Knicks are good. You know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen enough. So
it doesn't happen enough. So the Knicks start their season Wednesday. I'll probably have two games before we do the next show. So
probably. Yeah.
And, of course, go check out Pine Tar Bar and Grill if you want to watch a Knick game. 121 South Main Street, Fork and River, 609-489-4286. Go say hello to Tommy Plinio. It's an awesome sports bar. I got to get Dave and I down there one of these years. And also, if you're feeling down and out, things are bothering you, keeping it inside, go talk to Lisa Ruane, 201-725-1251. She's a certified therapist, hypnotherapy. She does a lot of different things. She's good people, personal friend of mine. Hopefully she can help you out. It's important to me that you take care of these kind of things. And I think, Dave, that is about it for our show. That's it. Well, we shot Beer League. It's done. It's in the can. And
now I'm on the IL.
Now you're sore. The fact that you're sore. But wait a minute. Hang on. Wait. No, we're going to time out. Let's extend the show for one more minute.
Mm-hmm.
You, not only did you shoot a movie, you came out of retirement. Now, tell me what happened.
All right. So that call was made to me. I've had this vision of doing this since I've retired.
Well, tell people that Dave
I'm a former professional wrestler, and I got into the commentary game because I've done commentary for, I've been
you're
in
old
media.
And you're old.
And I'm old, right? So I retired early in 2016 via concussions, via just being banged up, and I'm just done. But like I've had a vision of like doing one little small thing to just feel that rush again. But it never happened, right? And then finally, there's an event that happened this past Sunday in Rahway where I got a call from Kevin Matthews, who books the show.
By the way, Rahway is the epicenter of world wrestling.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's like the Mecca. Like the Rahway Rec Center is where I started my wrestling career.
Yeah, it's been going for years.
And so I got a call, say, hey, look, we got this idea that, your commentating partner who you kind of feud with back and forth throughout the course of every broadcast is going to wind up being the number one entrant in this over-the-top Royal Rumble type situation. How would you like to be number 2 and do battle with him for a minute and then just kind of call it quits after that? And I'm like, man, I'm not prepared for it. I'm coming off set, right? I'm driving everything's frozen, right? I'm just like, I'm thawing out on the way over there. I'm like, and what am I going to say? No, I'm like, yeah, let's fucking go. Let's do it. And I got there and I had no official word, but like they were doing sound check and they were doing the graphic sound check on the Tron, like the video screens. And as soon as I walked in, they did a countdown from 10 because that's what it is. You count down from 10, the next entrant comes. and the buzzer goes off and it's my music and everybody looks at me like, yeah. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
That's great.
I was like, this is official. So I got in there, I did my thing. It felt great. But like you're taught how to fall.
Who won the battle?
I can't reveal that. You gotta go watch.
Okay.
You gotta go watch on Premiere.
Okay.
But yeah, well, no, CPA won. There's a guy who's actually an accountant. He won the thing, and he's like his character's great. But anyway,
did you get hurt?
I think I did. And it sucks because it's just like I waited 7 years for this, and I go into the ring, and the guy like he swings and misses. I duck it. I come back. I grab him by the back of the collar, and I'm like kind of showing him. I'm showing the whole crowd like, where do you want me to throw him? Where do you want me to throw him? He's you know what the funniest part is? Sometimes you can't hear what the guys are yelling from inside the ring.
Right.
As I have him on the back neck, he's like, I love the Cowboys. I love the Cowboys. And like he was so mad. And I'm like, your ass is grass, buddy. And I throw him out. And then that's my moment. I get excited. I shake the ropes like warrior style. I'm huge. The adrenaline's pumping.
Right.
Now I have to be eliminated too. So his weasel ass gets back in the ring after being eliminated and eliminates me by throwing me over the top rope. Now, when you go over the top rope, in wrestling, you're supposed to plant with your hand and kind of propel yourself over, land on your feet, or make it look better. I planted with my shoulder, my hand, but then my whole body twisted. And when I dropped to the ground, I was like, that was fun. I'm not hurt. We're all good. I got back to commentary and I'm like, oh, I fucked up my shoulder. Like I definitely fucked up my shoulder. And for 2 days, my range of motion has been dog shit. And I'm just like, man, if I waited 7 years to do something really tragic, and that's like everybody like who I've talked to, were like, bro, you had one, like you were there, you were in the ring for a minute. Like, how did you fuck this up?
But you know what? You got to do this. You have to make one more comeback when your kids, like when Miles is a little older.
I showed my daughter the clip.
She might, but she's young. You might get
scared.
No,
she was like giggling and laughing the entire time, right? But then the next day, she's like, "Can you like?" She always likes to be like, just roughhoused a little bit, just like to kind of play around. I was like, "Daddy can't lift you right now." She's like, "Why?" And I was like, "Cause Daddy hurt his shoulder when I was wrestling." She goes, "You got hurt?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm a little sore, but I'm okay." And then she's like, "I was like, do you want Daddy to wrestle again?" And I hear Steph from the other room, "No." All right, well that might be short lived, but yeah, maybe. Now,
of course, Miles, who we all know is going to be a professional wrestler on his own.
Either that or an offensive guard. Yeah. Either way,
he's either going to be in Nebraska, Wisconsin, or on the WWE. Right. That's so funny. Yeah. Daddy can't pick you up, mow the lawn, wash
Daddy
dishes.
Can't do shit. I got asked last night after she heard me complaining about my arm. She goes, "Can you handle bath tonight?" I was like, "Steph, I can't lift my arm right now. Like, how do you expect me to do this?" So she's like, "Oh, good. I'm glad. This was my fear. You had one thing, and now you can't do shit." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, welcome to my freaking world."
Oh my God, that's great. All right, well, I wanted to hear about your short-lived.
Appreciate you asking.
The Aaron Rodgers comeback by Sergio.
That's what it felt like. I felt like the Aaron fucking Rodgers. So excited. The crowd's chanting, Dave, and I'm like, yeah. And I'm just like, I go back to commentary. I'm like,
and believe it or not, your wrestling career and Beer League, the series, there's a little birds there. But again, we're just teasing it. We're just teasing it. Anyway, that's my show. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see you guys next week with a very special guest.
As always.
Good evening, everybody.